what's up guys, it's Ben 2000 yugioh, your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh superhero, and today guys we're going to be talking about the Sky Striker deck and giving you some options on how to give you an edge over it. That being said, I want to quickly also apologize for not giving you more than one video this week. I have been toying with the dinosaur deck a lot lately, and you know, some of my experiments haven't been working very well. Some of them are very powerful, but not very consistent. It's a whole debacle. Point being, I've been experimenting with dinos, and I got some really cool stuff. I'm just refining things. That being said, also, I have read some comments, and some of you guys want to see a full power dino deck with the Shadal engine. I'll do that. That'll come soon. I don't know exactly when. I don't want to give you guys any fake numbers, but I'll come up with that soon for you guys and give you my take on it. Also, that being said, I just want to also let you clarify something real quick. I don't think the scrap engine and the Shadal engine mesh well with the dinosaur stuff. I think you need to do either or, not necessarily try to mash too much together. So that's just why I'm not going to do that. Just FYI. If I actually come across a way to make it work, I'll do it, but you know, I just, at the moment, it doesn't seem to do that. Now, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video. This is what you came for. You guys want to get some ideas on how to help you beat Sky Strikers, right? Obviously, that's why you clicked on the video. Now, there's the reason for why we're doing this, because ever since the ban list dropped, it seems like Sky Strikers have been the deck to beat. So far, they've been doing well at tournaments, I've been hearing, from like MCOL40 and MBT, and among other content creators. They've been talking about other tournaments where Sky Strikers are doing well, and I think, honestly, I think they're going to be the deck to beat. I think Konami screwed up and accidentally made an old deck the best deck. So, I'm a little bit annoyed, but I'm going to be helping you guys maybe not be as annoyed as I've had to be trying to figure some of this stuff out. Now, one of the things you obviously can do is you can pick monsters that are like, oh, I'm unaffected by everything. Or you can pick monsters that just, you know, negate spells. Those are really good options, obviously. But I'm going to be talking about something a little bit of a different path, in that looking at the Sky Striker cards. A lot of the cards that the Sky Strikers use, primarily Afterburner and Widow Anchor, primarily are their removal cards. These are the cards they're going to use to remove your stuff. So what do these two cards have in common? They target. And a lot of the Sky Striker stuff targets. I believe even in the monsters. Let's see here. Yes, I have it pulled up. Let's see here. Yeah. Sky Striker Ace Kayana targets. Let's see here. Also, Sky Striker Ace Zeki also targets. These are other cards that they use to immobilize your monsters, to keep them from being on the field, to keep them from attacking, etc. So, being that targeting is a heavy influence in the Sky Striker deck, I've decided that I wanted to include some monsters that can't be targeted as a way to get the ball rolling and show you some monsters maybe you didn't think of for your deck, or maybe encourage you to try something different in a deck you were already playing. So, let's go ahead and get started with some of the cards are going to be relatively obvious. Like, let's go ahead and get Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. I know, but the card does see competitive play, and if this guy hits the field, Sky Strikers are going to have a problem removing him, because everybody is, frankly. I'm just being honest, guys. I mean, obviously, Sky Strikers are going to play other things that remove stuff, too. They're not just going to play their own in-archetype stuff. They'll play Lightning Storm. They'll play Droplets and Dark Ruler. Basically, if there's a good spell in the game, Sky Strikers are going to use it. So just be aware of that. I'm just talking about, like, you know, fighting the Sky Striker side of the deck, not the staples. And so there we go. So like I said, Dragoon is going to be a very good example of a card that Sky Strikers will struggle to get around. On top of not being able to be targeted, the card can't be destroyed by card effects. You can't... he's a walking negate. and he inflicts damage. Sky Strikers are going to be like, oh, this SOP, which is funny that they're one of the better decks right now, but this card will definitely be something you will want if you can play it. The next one is going to be another expensive card. I want to go ahead and get them out of the way, and then we'll go to the cards that might be a little more in everybody's budget. The next card that is going to be very high price, and shout out to my Yugi rejects because they helped me with this list. Also pointed an app that I needed. Because sometimes your Yu-Gi-Oh! Superhero is a little behind on things. It is what it is. So, obviously, if you link someone with Blackluster Soldier or Soldier of Chaos, you using a level 7 or higher monster, that he can't be targeted. Plus, he's also got some other really cool effects, including like banishing cards, making himself really big, so that other parts of like the Sky Strikers are a little more threatened by him. Namely like Kagari and Shizuku, because they changed the stats of themselves or your monsters. This guy's being able to get as big as he is, being already 3,000 points, but also being able to get to 45 makes him really hard for Sky Strikers to remove. So if you can afford him with his very big price tag, which I will try to include that in post. I make no promises that I will remember to do that, including the price tags of all these cards. The card's expensive. It's like over $100 last I saw, but it's a good one because it's pretty generic. The next one is if you're playing a Blue Eyes deck, which I know Blue Eyes already kind of has some inherent advantages. Widowmaker can't take normal monsters. They have a Zero Eyes, which already stops targeting. But Blue Eyes alternative Ultimate Dragon is a card that says, hey, your opponent cannot target or destroy this card with card effects. He literally has one of the same effects as Dragoon. It's I don't know. I think it's a neat card. It's an interesting way if you're playing the Blue Eyes deck and you can make this guy. I don't know what variant you might be playing. Maybe like an invoked Blue Eyes or something. Might be a good example of something you could play with this card. Go for it. I think it looks interesting. It's just an example. The next one is going to be something that's definitely for somebody who might already be playing something like this in the format, is Lunalight Saber Dancer. Excuse me, almost said Saber Tiger. Dyslexia is fun, guys. This is another monster that can't be targeted. Also, Lunalights can be combined with the Tri-Brigade. So, I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into Lunalight Tri-Brigade too much. I just looked into it enough to know it's a deck, but the idea in my head is like, well, this card does take 3 Lunalight monsters. It's a non-targetable fusion with really good stats. So if nothing else, you got that going for you. Plus the plus factor and recurability of Tri-Brigade, which is just god awesome. I'm just saying. So Lunalight, Tri-Brigade, boom, and here's your non-targetable extra deck monster to help you get past those pesky Sky Striker removal spells. Alright, so a lot of you guys also know that Shaddoll Invoked is another deck that we're all playing, or, or invoked variants, I should say. So another card that they might want to try is including water monsters, so you can play Invoked Cocytus, which that name just sounds kind of cool. But yeah, if you include a water monster, or if you're playing Super Poly in your invoked variants, wait for them to play Shizuku, and then you get to Super Poly with your Alistair the Invoker and this, and make Cocytus, and now you have a monster that they can't target and has a 2900 defense they have to get past. Also, this guy can attack while in defense mode. So there are other effects that, that does come up for some things. Also, Alistair the Invoker and boosts defense and attack, as I recall correctly. So there you go. And so he can be a 2800 attacker with the Alistair effect. So that can come up. And this is just a guy would be really hard spot to be removed by the Sky Striker player. So now we're going to go into some synchro stuff. One of the cards that I used to use back in the day, especially like in the Dragon Ruler era, because I was playing Dragon Ruler Synchros over the XEs because I couldn't afford them back then, was Leo, the Keeper of the Sacred Tree. Now, caveat to this. Yes, this card, for the most part, is untargetable. Except in main phase 2. So, and a good Sky Striker player will take advantage of that if you let them. So, be aware of that. If you're playing this card, try to use this card to help you in the game, because he can't be targeted and he's a 31 beater. They will probably try to disrupt you before you get to this point, but you know, they're going to do that no matter what monsters you're making. So the next thing that I have is another personal favorite is Yazi, Evil of the Yangzings. This card could also be spot removal if necessary, but this card cannot be targeted, and I think that's really good. He's basically like Pankratops, only slower, but he also can't be targeted, which I think is really cool. And I think that that's another one. If your deck can make level 7s, it's generic, so any deck that can make level 7 synchros can do this. Now I'm going to be doing another one that is for decks that I know are already seeing play, and that's like, for example, if you are playing the Burning Abyss Phantom Knight deck I've been seeing roaming around, or maybe just Phantom Knights, I have a suggestion for you that I think you will want to play, especially because Sky Strikers can be a pain in the butt for you too. And that is Virtual World Dragon Long Long. I know that seems a little weird, but it's 2 level 3 monsters with the same type and attribute. So, Phantom Knights, Bries, your Dark Fiends or Dark Warriors. This monster is definitely made for you. Your opponent can't target it with card effects while it has Xyz material. And, really cool fact, especially for you Phantom Knight BA players, because I know you guys play a lot of monsters. So another thing that this guy can do that you might make you guys want to play him is if your opponent tries to Nibiru you and they have a monster that is not a light monster. Like in Sky Strikers, I know that they side Nibiru a lot. At least that's what I've been coming across online. So this guy could also double as being not only being untargetable, but also as a way to block hand traps, which might be something you guys might want to think about. In the same vein of level 3 rank 3 base decks is number 49 Fortune Tune, and I'm sure, not that I can think of it, but I'm sure there's a way you also could use some of these cards to climb into something more competitive if you can afford it, like Zeus. I think Downer Magician might let you get there. Don't quote me on that, but this is another one that's really interesting, especially because this card might be useful in time. Is Fortune Tune, because it can gain life points, as well as recyclability. If once this card dies, it puts back the monsters you used to make it into the deck, so basically it can help you recur resources, and this guy doesn't stay in the graveyard usually. He goes back to the extra deck and he can't be targeted, so it's really good defense that way. It won't block Hayate, but nothing really blocks Hayate, so Alright, and the last one is for a deck that I'm not sure even remotely cares about Sky Striker. I'm pretty sure if you're playing this deck, you're probably have the advantage over them, I imagine. At least I think. Don't quote me on that again. Is Mech Knights, and the monster is Spectrum Supreme. This guy is, as long as he's in the extra monster zone, he can't be targeted by or destroyed by card effects, very much like Dragoon, and I'm pretty sure his price tag probably, I haven't checked at the moment, is probably not even in the ballpark. So if you're playing like a Mech Knight deck or some kind of like Mech Knight hybrid deck that can make this guy, because it's literally just 2+ Mech Knight monsters, and I'm pretty sure they have a link to, I'm pretty sure, if I recall correctly. You can tell I don't play Mech Knights, can't you? That's more Slim's thing. But anyway, point being, this card is another really good monster, and I believe he has an effect that would let him attack directly. And with 3,000 points, that can start to add up, because they're gonna have to get to their cards that can get rid of this guy. Their Dark Ruler No Mores, their Forbidden Droplets. That's the kind of thing they're gonna have to use to get rid of this guy. And those cards aren't exactly searchable. So if you got it, you got it. But if you don't got it, Sky Striker players, the Mech Knight players they've got their card, and your back row deck, so they could just summon. Anyway, guys, If there's any monsters that you can think of that are really good against the Sky Striker deck, which I think is going to be something we're all going to start really seeing a lot of, I want you guys in the comments below to comment a monster that is good against Sky Strikers. Doesn't matter whether it's a monster that's unaffected, doesn't matter if it's a monster that can't be targeted, doesn't matter if it's just a spell negation card. Any card that is good against a Sky Striker deck, let's go ahead and let this video be a resource so players can get around this beast of a deck. Because Sky Strikers I think are going to be the best deck of the format. They're going to be doing some mean stuff this format. So drop your help in the comments below. If you're new to the Ben 10,000 yugioh channel, consider subscribing. I would love to have you here and be part of the conversation. And make sure you do me a solid and leave me a like. Let me know you enjoyed the video. Anyway, guys, I'm Ben 10,000 yugioh. I'm your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh superhero, and I'm off to go fix my dino deck. So, see you guys in the next one. Peace!